Lakes Radio Company invites you to not the Twilight Zone, but something more important, something real, the Transplant Zone. That's the zone, that's our podcast, that's our performance. And today, when you're in the transplant zone, it's best to become a teacher and learn how to help others. Let's see what Gary has to say about that.
Hi, this is Gary Register again, living on the edge with the very edge. So here I am with batteries and stuff, and you may see me in the parking lot pulling my shirt up, and part of that is to teach people that what's going on in their life. You know, how can they teach others or just share with them, because we're all in this together, whether you're a donor or a receiver of these things, these organs. And you don't have to know everything. But what you have to do is keep moving, move, and don't give up. But when you're out there and you see somebody look at people. Look at them and see how they're walking. If somebody's walking with a cane or something, encourage them. You should be an encourager because you have given a second chance, maybe even a seventh chance. I've been dead quite a few times, and the Lord keeps sending me back. And He tells me that, Gary, I'm going to send you back. And I said, well, what if I screw up? And He said to me, well, Gary, He said, who do you think's been fixing all your stuff all along? And He said, you need to listen to your wife because you're very stubborn. And I have turned that stubbornness into something good. My speech is not always clear. My hands don't work very well, as you can see. But I'm still a human being, and I can inspire people. And that's what I'm trying to do with you today. Inspire you to keep moving and to let people see your disabilities. Show them, there's some things you can't show, but that's okay too. They'll get the idea. But encourage them because you are a teacher. You need to teach other people how to live with their infirmities and not give up. Say if you're in a wheelchair, you might be paralyzed or something. And if that's the case, you still have different things. Like I get up in the morning, I have to put my batteries in. My wife puts my hearing aids in, but that doesn't stop me. So the biggest thing I want you to remember is that when you're out there, look at people, see them, encourage them, and tell them your story. You might be shorter than mine, but that's okay. But have fellowship with them. And it's often not easy for some people to say help. And you're going to have to accept help. So you might as well get used to it. Everybody needs help. But if you're giving people help and encouraging them, then it makes it easier for you to realize we're all in this together. Each one of us have different talents. I say mine is talking to anybody. And I just keep going on, and I listen. And what is the person telling you? Well, I'm telling you, it's easy to say, don't be scared. But, you don't know. You just don't know when and what's going on. But that's okay. Just stay in with it. And love the people around you because some of them were very scared. And it changes from time to time. So, spend a little more time with them. Your kids, let them know what's going on because knowledge helps them deal with what's going to happen later on. And you really don't know. But I plan on being around here. So with the help I will, I'm keep moving. And the podcaster that's helping me with this, because I couldn't do it on my own. There's a lot of things I can't, and I have to ask for help. But he's sitting across from me, and his name is Stan, and he's been doing a wonderful job because I can't push the buttons and talk at the same time. But he knows how to do this. And if you want to set up a podcast or be in our podcast, we can do it remotely. And I was, tell me what you're feeling so that other people can feel, well, I don't feel so strange now, because everybody has their doubts sometimes. And some days they go, man, I don't want to do this. But you keep moving. You pick out a goal. Mine is to get a new heart, a used heart, and somebody said, well, what kind of heart do you want? I said, oh, can I order one? And the doctor started laughing. They said, we've never had anybody to order one. I said, well, I would like to have a heart from somebody that's very active, young, and maybe a motorcycle driver that, lived his full life. And also that he'd be a believer. And I said, so when I get to heaven, I can walk up or fly, whatever we're doing at that time, meet them and say, thank you for letting me borrow your heart or your kidneys or whatever you're getting. And, it's all in the attitude, But, if you're really scared about it, call me. My number is 919-244-6043, and I'll be glad to talk to you. And I'll be able and glad to come by and sit in front of you and talk to you. So as long as I can get there. I can't fly anymore because it takes an act of Congress to get me on an airplane, because I've got all these batteries and I have to carry them inside the cabin with me, and my computer and my chargers and all that stuff. And it's just not fun. And they look at me, and when I walk in there, I go, you can't wand me, because the one can do something to the computer. I don't need to know all that. But anyway, I look at them and I go, I've got an LVAD. They go, oh, you're one of those. And I said, yeah. He said, well, can I pat you down? I said, sure, go for it. You can't wand me. And he says, well, what all have you got in here? And I said, well, that's my batteries. That's my extra batteries. That's my extra computer. That's this. And he goes, man, you got all this stuff. Oh, do you have the letter that you have from the doctor's office saying what these batteries are like, and do you have to have them in the cockpit? I said, of course, I can't. How am I going to change that sucker out if the battery goes dead or something happens? And if it's, land the plane and get it out? No. But because of that, I don't fly anymore. And I can only be 4 hours away from Duke. So the furthest place I can go is Hendersonville in the mountains. So when I go up there, my wife says, we're kind of pushing the envelope. I said, nah. I said, well, I got a plan. I said, if they call me, we'll start heading towards Duke. And I said, they told me, Gary, if you get in a traffic jam or something, call us and we'll call the police or the highway patrol and get you escorted, or you can follow them, or we'll send a helicopter. And then I hear this little voice, saying, do you know how much that costs? I said, well, it doesn't matter, because if you don't get there in time, the heart is wasted. And that one's designed for you, and I'm not into wasting things. Hearts, food, or anything. So as we continue on with this, What do I need? I need your prayers, and I need you to go out and talk to somebody about it. Show them, let them know that you're going through this and you don't have to do it alone. So God bless you. And until next time, we will just sit here and smile and talk. And my needs again are for you to go out and be a light for people. You know, let them know what's going on in your life and enjoy your life. Don't give up and don't sit in a chair and watch TV. So you have your walking orders now to get out and look at people, see what's going on in their life, and be able to address that. So God bless you and talk to you later. Bye-bye.
There we go. And thank you, Gary, and thank you for spending a little time here in the transplant zone. I'm sitting here just after my time with Gary, and I was amazed. Yes, I was hearing some profound wisdom in just about 10, 11, 12 minutes. Think about that. You know, he reminds me of one of my mentors who oftentimes said that if you really want to encounter real wisdom, don't go to the smart guys, the successful guys, the people, the men and women who think they're great. Oftentimes, if you want real wisdom, you go to the people who've suffered through some very hard times, who perhaps have a lot more stars. No, they have a lot more scars than they have stars. Well, that's a little bit of the feeling I have. Well, we are here because we want to help you and help others live better. Because once you're in the transplant zone, in effect, you're never out of it. And what Gary is encouraging you to do is look at this as a time of being helpful and useful to others, to be a real teacher to others. And that's what he wants to do. And that's why he's investing time, money, and energy in the transplant zone. So we'd be grateful if you'd think about sponsoring Gary and the work that he's doing and recommending him to others. By the way, he can give some pretty good presentations about how to live well and to keep moving. Again, one of the mentors I had said that when he had looked at all of the successful people, particularly in business, it was their mobility, their ability to move around, to keep moving, to keep doing different things that made them successful. And so he would always ask, how mobile are you? What things are you moving? How are you moving? What's moving in your life? Just think about that. Hey, join us again next time for another adventure into the transplant zone. Till next time, all the best and blessings to you too. Bye for now.